So we've done loads of videos on elevators recently, so we'd change it up a little. We'll do videos on vault doors again. Hell yeah. So previously I made these big vertical vault doors that you could infinitely expand. And I made them in 4 wide and 3 wide. I was going to do a 5 wide, but then I realised that was a lot of effort, so I didn't. And, you know, I was done with vault doors for a bit. So if we flick our lever, assuming this isn't the broken one, they did that. But then I realised, wait, I can make them sideways. So this is a 3 high up to 15 block wide. Actually, you could quite easily make this 30 blocks wide. Beyond that would be a bit more difficult, but expandable 3 high vault door. And I've actually got it so you can kind of activate it from both sides. So if we get a button here, that's not a lot of time. Probably best to use a wooden one. So we just get our input redstone here and we just get a signal to it from a button. Like so. Press it, pop through, closes behind us. And obviously you could change it to be something a bit more fancy to make it harder to get in. But that's what we got. It isn't double-sided unfortunately, so you do get these pistons here. That's because there's some redstone here, which is where pistons would be. And it'll be pretty difficult to change that. Way harder to build. This is really easy to build. If you really want to make it double-sided, you can just build another one of it across and just do a bit of a gap in between. That might be hard to get through in time, but you know, that's your problem. Okay, so let's build it. So you're going to need a 3 wide area, as in the depth, and then the door is going to be 3 blocks high, so your ceiling is going to be 3 blocks above that. So there. Then on each side it's going to stick out a couple of blocks. So we have 1 block, this is the wall, and then we also have an extra block where a piston sticks out. So that's the case on both sides. Underneath we go 2 blocks down, so you're going to have to dig 2 blocks underneath the floor as well. And then we also go 3 blocks above the door for the redstone above the door. So that's the space you're going to need. So for the pistons, we firstly go under the floor and we just place a line of pistons like this. And then we do the same on the top. Coming to the side, in the middle of the sides, we place a sticky piston facing inwards on both sides. Now we're going to go around the back, and all we have to do is one's at the top, so we ignore these 2 sides, and then we go a block higher than the initial pistons at the front, and we do 2 pistons aiming downwards, and again we don't do that on the 2 sides, we leave those. So that's what the back pistons look like. Okay, so moving to the front, the first thing we're going to do is we just have blocks above all these pistons, and we have redstone on those, and that'll power those. Then if we go to the back, we go 1 block down and do a line of blocks along the middle pistons, so we can skip this one because there's not a piston there, with redstone along all of those. But we do have to stick out on the side where you choose to do this mess of target blocks and things. This is going to be where the input is, so on the side you're going to put your input, you make it stick out 1 block, you don't bother on the other side. And as a kind of reminder, your ceiling is under it like this. So I'll actually also put the middle blocks under these pistons, they're yellow on my design, so just do them like that. There can be any blocks that can be pushed though. Easy peasy. So to power the bottom pistons, we just do 2 blocks behind them, and leave a block of space between the floor and those blocks to place in repeaters and redstone, except on the last one we actually don't have anything because there's actually a target block with a torch instead of the redstone dust, and that's to power all those. And for our input line of redstone, we actually have redstone going in a sort of Tetris shape pattern. So from our target block, which is at the back, we go to the side and do redstone, then we do a round like this, and the reason we do this is there's another target block in this gap here, 1 block up with a torch, and that aims upwards into a block to power this piston. Now to get power across, we're going to do a block next to that torch, so to the left. So our front is here, we're here, left side, block, and then a block diagonally up, and redstone on both those. And just as a reference, the wall is here, and the ceiling is there, so I'll fill that in. And then we just do a slab here, so we can do a tower going up, and we do a couple more slabs like this, going up in this diagonal pattern, and that's just so the redstone signal can go up the whole thing. Now firstly, we're going to go up above this top slab to the right, and we're going to do a block with a redstone dust on it. Then we're going to do a block aiming into this piston, and that has a repeater on it aiming at the redstone line at the top. Now we're going to do a target block next to the block with the repeater, and have a 4-tick repeater aiming into that repeater. And sorry, I made a mistake. The first block in this top line of redstone is actually a no block, so the one the repeater's aiming into, and that's because it sets off an observer later, so that's why that's like that. Now behind this 4-tick repeater, so it's aiming into the first repeater, there's another target block, and that's because if we go to the side, there's a slab behind the target block with redstone dust on it, and that will delay this repeater turning off, so these top pistons will turn off after the bottom ones and pull them up for the double extender. So now to power the bottom pistons, we actually use a thing called a bud. So I did actually do this line of redstone wrong here. We actually destroy this block, and what we do is we have next to this redstone on the slab under the target block we just placed, we have a block with redstone, and then we have a repeater on 2 ticks. And then next to this repeater, aiming into the middle, we have a repeater on 3 ticks. And this is just because of some weird mechanics, don't worry about it, it works. And then finally from the note block, we have an observer aiming sideways into our block. And that's so that when these top pistons turn off, this line of redstone here will get powered again, and that will pull the blocks up from here, where they will have been pulled to, up into the ceiling. So that's what that observer does. It just triggers the line of redstone quickly to pull the blocks up. So lastly, we're going to have to power this piston on the left side to push this bit of the wall in. And to do that, we just grab our top line of redstone, we do a block with a repeater from it, make that go into a block with a block underneath with a gap to put a redstone dust in. Then you actually get a normal piston and aim it sideways, and that's because this piston gets triggered by a thing called bud, which is weird, but it works. So that's that. This won't work on Bedrock Edition, by the way, so sorry if you've got this far in, but this is Java Edition build. So bud is also the reason why this thing is 3 ticks and this one is 2, because it makes these pistons get powered by it as well, which is weird, but whatever. So we'll fill in the rest of our wall. But yeah, that's the design you do. And like I said, up to 15 blocks wide, no problem. 30 blocks wide, you'd have to build this target block thing on the other side as well, and make it set off at the same time as the first one. And now if I put my floor in, so that will be here. And then you have walls here and a ceiling here. And to power it, you just gotta power this line of redstone we did at the bottom. So if I take the redstone up, put a block above it, and use a lever, this should now work. There we go. And then turn it off, and it will close. So same on the other side. If I take anything from this line of redstone and do a block with the repeater, so if I just power it, then the door opens, and if I unpower it, the door closes. Okay, I've been Idendied. I'll see you in the next one.